lose or win.
No! Love is infinite. We can make as much as we want. Who do you love most in the whole world? My mom. My parents. Lucinda, Nicole, Beth. My friends, my grandparents. Miranda, Ileana, Karsh. My sister. My sister.
What's going on, y'all? Listen. Okay, before we even get into it, let me say this. I would be remiss in my duties as a person who wants to create things and share my thoughts and opinions if I let the month of October go by and I call myself doing movie reviews and I did not in some shape, form, or fashion discuss the movie Twitches. Listen. Iconic, legendary, and never been seen, never been done. Take it to the movies, take it to the Grammys, take it to the Emmys, take it where you need to take it. Like, when I think of the movie Twitches, it's like, I don't care that it's a Disney movie. I don't care that it's technically like a kid's movie. I don't care. Because to see two black witches on my television screen, legendary, iconic. Now, here's the thing. When I was growing up, we didn't actually have Disney Channel. We had Nickelodeon because, baby, I live in the woods. We wasn't finna be paying for all the extra, the satellite, and da-da-da-da. We weren't finna do all of that. So, I was a Nickelodeon person. I did not have Disney Channel. I had seen episodes of, like, Dexter's Lab and stuff like that, like Powerpuff Girls. But I had never, like, been exposed to the lineup. So when I went to college, first off, I want to say I went to college in 2009. And that seems like so long ago. And so they were having like Monstober or whatever it was. And I think that's the year Twitches 2 came out. I'm not 100% sure. But I remember watching Twitches and Twitches 2 and thinking to myself, I have been missing everything because I also watch Wizards of Waverly Place, which is a whole other conversation. But I remember thinking to myself, like, I cannot believe that I have not seen these movies. Now, let me also say this. I just went back and I looked because I had to fact check myself. I wasn't going to be on here looking crazy. The movie actually came out. The first one came out in 2005. Second one came out in 2007. What made me say 2009? I don't know. I guess I got main character syndrome. Anyway, now that we got that out the way, I wanted to say how much I loved these movies. And I love the fact that it was like, I don't know how else to say this other than to say I love the fact that it was like your normal archetypes. Like Cam was the rich, spoiled girl, and Alex was the one who came from a hard background, and her life wasn't easy, and she was trying to figure herself out. I love the fact that it became that instead of like, it could have easily devolved into us going to Compton and these two witches finding out that they're witches because like they grandma who used to work at like a convenience store. And the reason I bring that up is because there's been a lot of conversation lately about Black witches and us having our own programs and our own shows. And I really wanted to highlight how special this is in the supernatural world for us, because we do not typically get to see ourselves on screen as it pertains to magic. And that's what I love about this. I mean, I know it's an adaptation of a book, but I just think that Tia and Tamara brought such personality to it because they're already good actresses. And the fact that they both can be so different when the time comes. And then I think there was like, I think I read somewhere that Tamara, or I think it was Tia filled in for Tamara in a scene. or Tamara filled in for Tia. I can't remember which one it is, but the fact that they can play those two characters who are drastically different and then instantly step in for the other one, baby, I stand. I will go above and beyond to stand, because that just adds another layer of beauty to the movie. Because they are twins, you do want to feel that connection to them. And I think there's something so special about the fact that one can play the other and we not really like catch on. Because here's the thing, I always thought I could tell Tia and Tamara apart, because Tia to me has like a sharper kind of nose and chin, and Tamara's face is a little rounder. And so I felt like every time I saw them, I could tell them apart. And then that made me question my whole life, because I was like, not me trying to be special and different, and I'm actually not. Like, not me trying to pretend like I know these people. Like, I was there in the hospital when they were born, and I can tell them apart because we have some kind of special bond. And I love that movie. Like, I love that movie so much, and I love finding out little tidbits about behind the movie. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the legendary and iconic Twitches. Actually, you know what? Before we start talking about the legendary and iconic Twitches, I wanted to bring something up, because I want to highlight again how like I miss things. If you had told me that the mama from Coventry was the mama from the Dr. Dolittle movies, I would have thought you were lying. I would have been like, girl, okay, anyway, now you're just coming up with stuff so you can confuse me. And while I was like doing research for this movie, I watched it too, but you know what I'm saying? Like while I was like looking stuff up, I saw her name and then I saw her picture, and it had her with Dr. Dolittle in Dr. Dolittle, and I was like, who did she play at Dr. Dolittle? And she was the mama. Y'all, I miss the smallest things. And that's why I laughed so hard at the fact that I thought I could tell Tia and Tamara apart. Like, in my mind, I think I'm somebody special. And then I don't even recognize this actress from the Dr. Dolittle. Like, I'm certifiable at this point. All right. So if you've never seen Twitches, it's about two twin sisters who are witches. Hence, Twitches. So they're born on Halloween night in a magical land called Coventry. So there's a lot of drama happening this night, right? So the darkness is this entity, this thing that's trying to take over. So they're born, and their names are, y'all, I love this because I love drama. And so the fact that their names are Artemis and Apollo, I don't know what it was I loved about that. I was like, if I was born and my name was Apollo, I would probably be the happiest that I've ever been in my entire life. So after they're born, their father gives them each an amulet. Apollo has one that's in the shape of the sun, and she turns out to be more like active and able during the daytime. And then Artemis has an amulet that's in the shape of the moon, and she tends to be more active and whatnot like at nighttime, and that's when she's most productive. So Aaron, who's their father, gives like all of his magic to the two of them. Like, he gives them all they got, and then he gets unalive. And so there are two people who are like friends of the family, Karsh, and y'all, I cannot remember the people's names. And I just watched this movie and I can't remember their names. And I think her name is Ileana. And if it's not, I am so sorry. So I'm not going to refer to them by names because I am going to mess it up. So I'm just going to say they're protectors. So their protectors take them to Earth, and both of the babies are adopted by different families. So Apollo is adopted by the Barnes family, who are rich. These people are loaded, and they name her Cameron. And Artemis goes on to become Alex, and Alex was adopted by a single mother who, works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. And so... So like I said before, Apollo is, now Cameron, and Cameron is very active in the daytime. Like, she wakes up as soon as the sun comes up. Mama stays drawing, and she thinks that the things that she's drawing are just like things in her head. She doesn't realize that she's drawing Coventry. She doesn't realize that she's drawing pictures of her biological mother. She thinks that these are just characters that she's created. Meanwhile, Alex, she stays up all night. She loves being up at night. She does all kinds. She's, like I said, the most productive at night. And she writes things. She writes about twin sisters. She writes these stories that are so unbelievable. Again, she thinks that she's making them up, but they have different powers, but it's kind of like the same version of the same power. So it's like the gift of knowing, the gift of seeing, things like that. And so that's why their powers, come in the way that they do. So now it's Halloween 21 years later, and they are living completely different lives for their birthdays. Cameron and her best friend are getting ready to go shopping. Cameron's going to have like this huge birthday party / Halloween party. Meanwhile, Alex is getting on the bus with her best friend trying to go find a job. Alex is like sleeping on her friend's like futon that's got to be in the kitchen because they ain't got enough room. Like mama is having to hoof it. Meanwhile, Cameron is over here living her best life. And what's so funny is they do the classic, like they keep missing each other, but they almost catch each other like all the time. And so they each, have a guardian, and their guardians are kind of like trying to push them together like ever so slightly, but they just keep missing each other. So finally they're just like, listen, we gotta do something. These girls got to meet in some shape, form, or fashion. And they put a now hiring sign in a store while Alex is going around looking for jobs. And Alex. See, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Okay, so y'all finna laugh at me. These names keep getting me mixed up, and I don't know why. I don't know why I keep getting the names mixed up, but I want y'all to know that so that way when you hear it, you're not like, is he okay? Because I literally had to record certain parts of this like 5 different times. I kept getting the names mixed up. And when I was trying to say who Apollo turned into and who Artemis turned into, I want you to know that I had to sit down and write it out so that I could remember who turned into who. Like, y'all, your boy's mind is bad. Anyway, that's not what y'all are here for. That is not what y'all are here for. Y'all are here to hear about the movie. So they get Alex to go into the store, and Cameron is in there shopping. And so, Alex is in there trying to get a job. The lady that works in there is being kind of rude or whatever because she's getting her and Cameron mixed up. And Cameron and Alex end up meeting, and they scream when they see each other because they're like, no, ma'am. They're like, no, ma'am. And Cameron is so excited to find out that she has a sister. Like, she is so happy. She is hyped. She's like, oh my God, I knew today was going to be a special day. And that's when they find out that today is both of their birthdays. And mind you, while Cameron is like over the moon at this, Alex is like, girl, I don't know what you think this is. I don't know who you think I am. I'm just trying to go find me a job. I'm trying to go ahead and be a float hop. I don't even know what that is. But mama was trying to go get her a job. And she said, not today. She said, girl, where's the bus? Where's the bus? Because I'm going back home. So the guardians reveal themselves, and they're like, hey, y'all are twins. Y'all got magic. Let me tell y'all what's going on. So then, they find out about the darkness, and they find out that they're the only two, that can stop it. And so Alex realizes that her stories about Coventry are true. And so, they're trying to get them to come help fight the darkness. And Alex is like, okay, I don't know what you think this is, but I know how the story ends, and it don't end well for me. So she's like, no, ma'am. She's like, I am not going to do this. I'm about to go to Wendy's and see if they're hiring because this is not for me, ma'am. And Cameron's like, girl, we can do this together. Stop acting like that. And so Alex decides to go ahead and do it. They do a little sisterly bonding. They practice them some magic real quick. And let me say this. Mamas are going up and down the street. And I don't mean that. I don't mean that like figuratively, I mean literally, they're going up and down the street doing magic. Like, we sitting in restaurants doing magic. We walking down the street putting faces on happy faces on pumpkins. Like, when I tell you, they realized that magic was there, and they said, we are about to cut up. And so as they're bonding, that's when the Twitches comes into play, and they're like, go Twitches, which is, I mean, just really an iconic part of the movie. Like, you have to have heard that at some point. If you're, I don't want to say of a certain age. I'm going to say that if you like certain kinds of media, like witch stuff, or if you've ever watched kids stuff, like, you've heard the go Twitches at some point. So while all of this is going on, their biological mama, Miranda, can sense that her daughters are alive and that they're together. So she runs, like, I don't know how much the budget was for this, like, particular scene, but if you watch that movie, you think that she is running like 2 miles in a castle in heels to go tell her husband. Like, she is hightailing it. This woman picks her dress up and she is running for what feels like 5 minutes. I'm like, girl, you got to have some calves of steel, because when I tell you mama was running. Anyway, so she runs to go tell her husband. Now, what's funny is her husband is her former husband's brother. And I was like, it's giving a little Young and the Restless, but that's okay. That's okay, because I like Young and the Restless. So, baby, if you got to be Sharon Newman, then I am more than here for it. So, a little bit later in the movie, the darkness appears at Alex's apartment, but the sisters are together and they, manage to get themselves to Coventry. This is where Cameron is like, okay, I thought this was going to be a cute, fun little adventure. I thought, I was just going to get a chance to do something great. I didn't know all this was going to happen. Ain't nobody tell me that this was going to occur. Baby, I'm thinking I was just going to get a chance to be cute and do a little bit of magic. I didn't know that there was a chance I could get unalived. And mama tries to get up out of there. So Cameron is like, look, they having a party for me back at my house where my parents are, because I forgot to tell y'all this part, but Alex's mom, like her adoptive mom, has passed away. And Cameron is like, girl, I'm sorry for you, but my folks having a party for me. So she goes back to the party and Alex stays back with the mama, the biological mama, and she's kind of they're figuring out what to do, because Alex thinks that she can fight against the darkness by herself. So while Cameron is at home, she goes, is trying to go back to her party and live her best life. And so she realizes that when she would draw the darkness, she would draw a face in it. And she realizes that her uncle Thanos, because y'all, I wanted to say Thanos so bad, but it's Thantos. Like, I had to look it up because I don't know why I kept saying Thanos. Like, the whole time I kept saying Thanos. So anyway, she sees her uncle's face in it and she realizes that he's behind the darkness. So she goes back to Coventry and the Guardians sacrifice themselves. So she tells the mama and Alex, what the uncle has been up to. And the uncle is trying to dupe them. And even in that minute, she's like, girl, I already got back here a few minutes ago. You are too late to this party. We got you. And he says, like, yeah, I took out my brother because I was trying to get, more power and whatever else. And then he gets Miranda, who's the mama, and like he goes berserk, right? So that's when Alex and Cameron come together. They combine their magic. They take him out. They restore Coventry. And they bring their mom and everyone else and the Guardians back. And so then they go back to Earth and they celebrate their birthday. And their birth mama meets Cameron's parents. And the movie ends and we have a great time. Y'all, I just love this movie so much. I don't even think I did it justice really in trying to describe it, and try to describe the events of the movie, because I didn't want to go like scene by scene, because this would have been like an hour and a half long podcast, because y'all know the way I like to talk. So I just kind of chose to give you like an overview of it, but it was still kind of long-winded. But what I wanted you to see was like how fun this movie is. And there's always something happening. There's always somewhere to go. There's always like something for you to see and learn and do, and a character for you to connect with in some shape, form, or fashion. Let me tell you something. So I was trying to figure out who my favorite character in this movie was. And I feel like I couldn't at first figure it out, because I think all the characters are lovable to a certain extent. I think they all have their kind of like ups and downs. But if I had to pick a favorite character, I think it would be Cameron. And not just because she's like a girly girl, but I love the fact that Cameron, when she like saw the darkness, was like, mm-mm. When she was like, I'm good. Cameron was like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Y'all have fun. I didn't know that I could get up out of here. Y'all do what y'all gonna do, and I'll hear about you on the news. I don't know, but I think what I'm gonna love the most about Cameron is the fact that she has this like outlook on life where she just chooses to see the great things in it, and she chooses to be excited about the things that she thinks is going to happen. Like, she thinks that her birthday is going to be an amazing day, and then when she finds out she has a sister, she's like, oh my God, this is the best birthday ever. And I just admire that level of enthusiasm and that excitement for life, because that's something that I aspire to. Like, I want to be truly happy in life. And I feel like even though Cameron is rich and she's a little spoiled and she kind of has whatever she wants, I think she's genuinely happy. I don't think it's one of those like, I'm just happy because I've got a nice car. I think she's appreciative of what she has. And I think that being allowed to grow up in such a loving environment and kind of be free of the negative whatever of the world allowed her to see the beauty in it. And so even though it comes out maybe a little spoiled sometimes, a little whatever, she still sees the world as this like beautiful, magical place. And once she realizes what her place in protecting, not Earth, but Coventry, once she realizes what her place in protecting that is, she steps up to the plate. My girl said, listen, I ain't finna leave you hanging for too long. So I tried my hardest to figure out what my favorite thing about this movie is, right? Like I said before, I love this movie. I love the movie as a whole. And so it's hard for me to say that I love one particular thing about it, because the magic system to me is interesting, and I would love to go more in depth in it in this movie, but we ain't really got time for that because we got too much other stuff happening. I like the magic. I don't think it's revolutionary. I don't think it's anything that's going to set the world on fire. I like the magic of it. I like the way they use their magic. But I think what I love the most about the movie is the bond between them. Because sometimes you can kind of go wrong having two characters who've never met each other kind of form this close-knit bond so quickly. But I think what makes this movie work is the fact that they form a bond kind of because they have to, but also because I think they were searching for each other. And it's never like, oh my God, I stayed up all night and I was waiting for you to come. But it was like, I kept drawing this person, or I was writing these stories and it was you in my story. They were subconsciously searching for each other and didn't know it. And I think that is what stood out to me the most, because I always feel like, I'm not trying to get deep right now, but I always feel like there's something in life that I'm missing, that I'm searching for, and I don't know what it is. And I'm not trying to be funny, but as I record this podcast and as I think about the other movies that I want to review for y'all, I think I'm finding it. I think that this is what I've been looking for, is being able to share these memories and these thoughts with you, and being able to talk about these movies that we have gone our entire lives watching, and we just kind of like come together every now and again to discuss it. I think that that's what the movie made me feel like, was the thing that I've been seeing in my mind and the thing that I've been feeling in my heart is a real thing. I just had to find it. So I'm telling you, this movie gave me the feels. It really did. It gave me the absolute feels. So my overall thoughts of the movie, I don't think I need to really tell y'all, because I've already told y'all a million times how much I love this movie. I think this is one of those classic, like, kids' Halloween movies that if you have children now, you're going to show them, or if you have children in the future, you're going to show them. This is one of those movies that I think when people think of their childhood, this is it. When I think of, I'm about to take my son or my daughter trick-or-treating for the first time, you know, we're going to go trick-or-treating, and then we're going to come home and we're going to watch Twitches, or, you know, we're going to watch some of their favorite things. But we need them to be introduced to this, because I genuinely think this is a classic Halloween movie. And again, I wasn't introduced to this movie until I was, you know, really was an adult. I think I was like 18 when I saw it for the first time. So for me, it doesn't have the same sentimental value as probably someone who did watch it when they were 10, or watched it when they were 13, or watched it when they were 11. You know, it doesn't have that kind of same value to me. But I think that in terms of being something that you can rely on to be entertaining, to be touching, to be funny, to, you know, have you feel what they're trying to make you feel, this is the movie. Like, this is the one. This is that kind of movie that you can just kind of watch on repeat. I mean, it's like every year in October, this is going to be the movie someone puts on. This, Halloween Town, Nightmare Before Christmas, Haunted Mansion, like those, Hocus Pocus, those kind of movies are going to be the ones that you watch. And this movie is just, and I just want to reiterate the fact, I love that it is Black women. I love that. I love that because it gives us a chance to see somebody like us on screen. And it gives us a chance to be a part of the magic. I do want to read the books, because I'm not super knowledgeable of the books because I haven't read them. But I think in the books, like, Ileana is like their cousin or something like that. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens in the books that I'm just like, oh. And then even at the end of Twitches too, there was like a moment where the mama had a twin sister, and I was like, oh, so that would have been interesting for a Twitches 3. But this just, like, if they come back and they make a Twitches 3, I think I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. I think I would be okay with Miranda being a grandma. And when I say a grandma, I mean like Alex and or Cameron have children now, and, you know, whatever, we're going through whatever little adventures with them. I would be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that nostalgia. I just, for my closing thoughts, y'all, I just implore you to watch the movie if you've never seen it. If you have seen it, just tell me some of your favorite things. Find me on social media. Y'all know where y'all can find me. And if you don't know where you can find me anywhere. How many times did I just say where you can find me? Anyway, you can find me anywhere on social media at They Call Me Mr. G. And I'm also on Instagram at Mr. G Reviews. So you can find me there. Just tell me what y'all love about it. Tell me your favorite part. Who's your favorite character? What do you love about watching this movie? Do you watch it every year? You watch it every other year? Just let me know. So I hope y'all have a great day, a great night, a great afternoon, whatever time of day you're listening to this. I want to thank you for listening in, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Go Twitches! Go Twitches! Twitches! I've been thinking about that all day!
win? Witches! Exactly!